Your parents got together 8 months and 40 days before you emerged from your mother's birth canal. You wailed loudly, a squalling mess. You were the standout among millions of your father's zealous sperm. Your dad didn't seem too thrilled, since he wanted a son to carry on the family name, not a daughter like you who'd eventually leave the nest. You survived on the shrimp and fish your dad caught every day. Some days were lean, others bountiful. You grew up in the watery world of the Mekong Delta. Your mom raised ducks. But your parents' main activities were drinking and singing, mostly drinking. They could drink from morning to morning, rain or shine. Growing up in such a carefree environment shaped your personality from a young age. You inherited your mother's natural beauty, a tall, slender figure, and a round, coconut-like face. Your life was peaceful until a major storm brewed, a storm within yourself. You didn't want to just stay stuck in that same old cycle. In high school, 2 new heads sprouted on your chest. You were embarrassed and tried to hide them, wearing bras constantly. When you laughed, drool dribbled down your chin. You had to wear underwear. A guy a year older than you took notice and started flirting, drawn to your youthful looks. After a long courtship, you unknowingly developed feelings for him, and you two fell in love. You thought you'd found your soulmate. He took you on road trips to maximize your feelings. You two became professional shaggers. He introduced you to his parents. They were wealthy newcomers in the area. They didn't approve of you, thinking that Mekong Delta girls are unfaithful, gold-digging, and only know how to enjoy life. You left, or rather you were kicked out. You and he broke up. You were ambitious and academically successful, and you excelled in school performances. You decided to change your life through education, specifically dance. You got into the Dan Denser University in the capital. You took a bus and headed north. You shared an apartment with Hoa, who was 2 years older and had gone to the same high school. Her family wasn't well off either. Because your parents didn't support you, you had to go to school and work part-time to make ends meet. You went to school in the morning and worked in the afternoon, then late into the night. Life became a monotonous grind until the end of the school year. You were exhausted and wanted to quit. You saw Hoa living comfortably, spending money freely. You asked her what kind of work she did that allowed her such comfort. She made money by shaking her ass and selling adult content online. She showed you how to film videos of yourself shaking your ass and edit them with flashy effects to get to the top of the charts. Then you could live stream and solicit gifts. With your natural talent, you jumped right in. After a month of constantly filming and posting videos, your channel only had a few hundred views. You decided to try live streaming, sitting there for a day or two with only a handful of viewers. Discouraged, you were about to give up and end the stream when suddenly you received a huge gift, like the massive feasts made by Batan Vlog, from an anonymous user with the nickname HuDNBL Say Dan Kong Na. You started to believe in life again, just like your benefactor's name suggested. HuDNBL Set Dan Kong Na frequently sent gifts during your live streams and messaged you. You smelled money. You waited until the next day to reply, and he immediately wired you 10 million. You and he started having cybersex. After a few times, he asked to meet and promised to give you even more money every month. You agreed. He picked you up in a Lambo Mland Pergo Inoso Cidiano Ronaldo, a name fit for royalty. Your parents combined didn't earn as much in a year. Mr. Hong took you shopping at the biggest mall in City X. After shopping, he took you to dinner at the most luxurious restaurant in Hanoi, the Muang Thon restaurant. He wired you 20 million as soon as you entered the room. He asked you to play music for him. You got another 20 million. You could sing well, so you got another 20 million. Even if it wasn't raining, you got another 10 million. You realized you didn't need a raincoat under such circumstances. In just a few hours, you earned more than your parents back home could make in a year. You felt truly talented. After that, you and he met frequently. Since every meeting meant money, why not? You started skipping class and eventually dropped out. Summer was in full swing. The beaches were packed. Mr. Hong wanted you to go on a tour with him. This was a chance to update your profile with luxurious content. You agreed. He took you to the top of Fansipan to escape the heat. You were skilled at mountain climbing, which he loved. You and he went to Phuket for 7 days. You constantly posted sexy photos and extravagant clips. Your TikTok channel exploded with interactions and followers. Hong secretly filmed you during sex to save as a memento. You panicked and lashed out, afraid it would affect your future. Hong gave you 100 million. You agreed. This was the worst decision of your life. But at the time, you didn't think much of it. You were already in this line of work, so why worry? In fact, you felt lucky to get pleasure and earn money at the same time. Your videos went viral. You became a hot TikToker with over 1 million followers. You felt truly blessed and wanted it to last forever. In 3 short months that felt like 90 days, you saved enough money to buy an apartment in the city center, 10 savings accounts, and a fancy 2-seater electric car. One time, you went with Mr. Hong to entertain clients at a fancy restaurant, but you were the main course. You were angry and bitter, feeling betrayed. But then your account got credited with 200 million, and you weren't angry anymore. You and Hong continued to see each other regularly. He took you out to eat. On the way back to the hotel, the car suddenly screeched to a halt. A motorbike blocked the way. A ninja in a full sun-protective outfit jumped onto the hood of the car and smashed the windshield with a helmet. You were terrified and sat still in the car. In the end, you couldn't even smile. You escaped and took a taxi home. Your chest was tight, and you tried to reassure yourself that he had a wife, and you weren't doing anything wrong. Hoa found out and advised you to work through a pimp for safety. You met the pimp and attended a training session on how to use your assets. You'd never used any of them before. You reevaluated your value based on the number of followers on TikTok. You got an appointment with a daddy through the pimp. You were surprised to see him. For a moment, he reminded you of your ex-boyfriend from high school. This guy was young and handsome. He was 8 years older than you, born in 1997. His nickname was Chker. You just called him Jay. Jay was more generous than Mr. Hong. With your musical talents, you played instruments for Jay. You met all of Jay's needs. You got added to his favorites list for any occasion. After just a month, you had enough money to buy another apartment to rent out. Right then, you realized you were pregnant with Jay's baby. You planned to hide it, afraid that you would be abandoned if you told him. But you didn't want your child to be fatherless. You decided to tell Jay. Jay demanded you abort the child because money was his priority. You'd already had 3 abortions without realizing you were killing people, killing your own flesh and blood. You decided to cut ties with Jay, and he happily agreed. You put your career on hold to take care of yourself. You frequently visited the beauty salon, and in the evenings, you wore clothes tight enough to accentuate your curves. You wore a high-necked shirt to the gym. You worked out for 3 days and then quit because you were tired. Then you changed into revealing clothes and played pickleball with Hoa. You frequented the pickleball court because it didn't take much effort, just a little wiggling. Next to the court was a soccer field full of handsome guys. After many visits, you met eyes with a soccer player on the other side. You and he kept making eye contact. He took the initiative to ask for your number and take a picture with you because he knew you were a hot TikToker. You and he chatted for a long time. This guy was good at texting, but when you met in person, he was quiet. You found him gentle, shy, and honest. You started seeing each other more often. But this time it was different from the previous sugar daddies. He didn't throw money around, but he was gentle, subtle, and caring. You started to feel something in your stomach. You were pregnant again. You and he got married. The wedding was held hastily and discreetly after the COVID pandemic. This guy was the only son of a wealthy family in the upper class. You were worried that you wouldn't be accepted because the 2 families were not of the same status. You'd been told that by your ex-boyfriend's family in high school. You rewrote your entire biography. You fabricated a complete family history with prominent figures to be a worthy match. Everything went smoothly because it was your soft skill. But the truth eventually came out. After living with your husband's family, you learned about the etiquette of the upper class. You thought your mother-in-law was like your own mother. You did everything carelessly and without consideration. You revealed all your flaws in communication, behavior, and responses. But it didn't matter because you still had the trump card in your stomach. After 40 weeks of pregnancy, your son came out of your womb, small and rosy. He cried loudly. On the day of your son's 1-month celebration, you panicked when you saw Daddy Mr. Hong also attending. Mr. Hong was your mother-in-law's uncle. You were scared. Mr. Hong acted as if nothing had happened. After the party, everyone went home. You thought you had escaped. While scrolling through Facebook, you received a message from Hoa. A video of you with Mr. Hong had been leaked. What had to come had come. You ignored it, thinking that your husband's family would also ignore it. Your husband and his whole family knew. You didn't get custody of your son and left empty-handed. You shamefully returned to your 2 luxury apartments in your fancy V-brand electric car. After a year, things had calmed down. You were also out of money. You started to get back to your old ways of making money. You weren't just an influencer anymore. You were a mother to the world. You went live and told stories of being abused by your husband's family, being treated badly, losing custody of your child, and leaving empty-handed. You received many angry emojis. You received sympathy and support from your lies. You felt it was time. You shifted to selling products. You gradually became a sales guru, organizing multi-billion-dollar mega sales. You invited Hoa to join you to attract more investors. You received a decent amount of commission but still didn't feel like it was enough. You knew that your time would eventually run out, so you wanted to earn as much as you could while it lasted. You decided to start your own company and manufacture products to maximize profits. You integrated technology to compress a plate of vegetables into a pill and sell it on the market. You sold a lot and made a lot of profit. While on a winning streak, you researched new markets. You started selling salt in your home, but you were arrested, and all your assets were confiscated for trading vegetables since your first year of college. After 3 months in prison, you received a package from a stranger with the nickname Hugh D&D to May Nam Roy V. Voyon. Inside was a photo of your parents back home. In the distance, there was a woman who looked very familiar, but you didn't recognize who it was.